In this lesson, we're going to learn about adjustment layers. Adjustment layers allow you to make adjustments to your image and are non-destructive. That means you won't ruin the original image if you change your mind about what you did to your original image, and then you cry. We're not going to go through all the adjustment layers that exist, at least not in this lesson. I believe there are 20 or so, and I don't want anyone's head exploding, especially mine. We're only going to go take a look at 3 of them today. Notice that here that I've opened a photo of these 2 cute little nuggets eating their candy. As a reminder, I'm getting my photos from pixabay.com. This time you won't have to make a duplicate layer as we did in my last Affinity lesson, since this is non-destructive. Go down to the icons bar, that's what this is, and click on this half moon right here, which is called Adjustments. So when you click on it, you're going to get a menu, and what you're going to do is select black and white. When you select that, you'll see a couple of things have happened here. You have this box that is opened. Our picture right here of the 2 kids is now black and white, and you have now made yourself another layer. Now, we're not going to use this right now, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. The reason I'm doing that is because what I want to show after we're done here is the difference between these 2 black and white pictures once we're all done. Now, we want to click on this button right here, toggle visibility, so that the middle one is not going to be seen. We're going to hide it. Now with our brand new duplicate layer, we're going to click on this little circle right here so that our pop-up that we saw before is going to reappear. So if we click on that, and here we have the pop-up, we're going to, right here you see a couple of things. One thing you have are sliders, and if you slide back and forth, you'll see the changes. You slide back and forth, you see the changes. So any kind of changes you want to make, you can make here. So just because these things are in color doesn't necessarily mean that the color is going to change. But I'm going to do this the easy way for my example. I'm going to put percentages in these little boxes and see how the sliders change when I do that. 40, and this is going to be minus 25, and this one's going to be minus 60, and this one is going to be 190, and this one is going to be 170. So, since I was too busy putting all these numbers in, I wasn't really paying attention to what was happening to my photo over here. But you don't have to worry about that because you have your other layer that you made. So we're going to close this pop-up window, and all you really have to do is to see what the changes are. Sometimes they're going to be really subtle and you won't be able to tell, is to toggle the visibility. So we will, turn that on. And when you turn that on, you'll see that the black and white images change. If you turn on both the black and white visibility buttons off, you'll see the original color image. So there it is, because this is all you're seeing. And then this one is the original black and white image that we made. And then this one is our change. So right here we have black and white adjustment, the changed one. And right here we have black and white adjustment, the original one. If you have both of these black and white adjustments selected, what it's going to show you is the original black and white adjustment layer. So what you're going to have to do is to turn this off so that you can see the changes that you made. Then after you do all this, you can decide for yourself which one you like. one over the other. And then if you don't like either one of them, then all you obviously have to do is just keep fiddling with it. Now we'll look at the white balance adjustment layer. Deselect the two black and white images so that the only image that you're going to see is the color image. And there we go. Now what you're going to do is you're going to click on the adjustment icon. Remember, that's this one right here, the one that looks like the half circle. And then from the pop-up menu, you're going to select white balance. And again, you have a pop-up that shows up where you can make the adjustments that you want. Slide the white balance slider all the way to the left and kind of notice what's happening to your image. And then slide it all the way to the right. So you're kind of going between warm and cool tones. I guess you could do it that way. Now let's take a look at the tint. So there you get more green. I'm not much of a green person, so that's not one of my favorite ones to do. And then pink. So we're back to where all this says 0%. We're back to where we started in the first place. Actually, I kind of like more bluish in my picture. So now that we know what has happened, I'm going to slide this toward the blue a little bit, like that. And then slide it a little toward the pink until I get something I like. And then once I get something I like, I'll close the balance window, and that way you're going to get a brand new balance adjustment. So once you close the balance window, you can toggle back and forth between the original image and this image that's now hidden down here. You might have to scroll down on yours so that you can see it. So if we close the original image, toggle off the original image, toggle off the new image, there's the original image. I think that there's too much green in the original image, and I like mine a little bit better. Now, after I say that, you have to remember I'm a total amateur, and that's just a personal preference. So, you just have to decide whatever is a personal preference for you when you're using this white balance adjustment layer. Now we're going to take a look at the curves adjustment. Click on the adjustment icon. Remember, it's down here. And when you click on it, you'll see down here we have something called curves. So when you click on it like that, the curves histogram box appears. It's really no accident that this matches this, because it's pretty much, telling you a few things. Let's take a look at what all these drop downs are. You've got X and Y right here, because remember, histograms have an X and a Y axis. That's really not important in this, so just forget I said that. Down here, there's a drop down that says RGB. See here, this right here? And then if you look at the drop down, you'll see that it says gray. Okay, so there's the gray one. And then you have RGB. We'll go back to RGB. And then you have CMYK. You really won't have to worry about that unless you're printing things. And the printer ink is in CMYK color. So anyway, light is RGB, which is red, green, and blue. So we're going to go back to that. So right now we're going to stay in the RGB mode. Now let's take a look at this diagonal line. Notice in this diagonal line, it's straight right now, but it's not going to be that way for long. And right now you have two nodes. So if you click on this node and move it up, your picture, if you go all the way up to the top, it will completely, well, it doesn't disappear, but the color is all the way white. And over here, on this node, if you pull it all the way down, your color goes all the way to black. But it's not like that's the only thing you can do. Those aren't the only nodes that you're stuck with. You can click anywhere on this line, like right here, and you'll get yourself another node. So when we click on that, we can get that node, and then if you move the node, you'll be able to move the curve on the line. Take a look at what your picture is doing. It is changing from dark to light. And the beauty of the curves is that you can make as many nodes as you want. So we'll make a couple of them here so that you have more control over your line. So we can just move these all around and move this one all around and all that. So this curve adjusts more like a noodle than a series of segments. Okay, now let's say that you're moving this around and you're trying to make your adjustments to your picture and you go, oh no, this looks like crap, so how do I get rid of this? Fear not. All you have to do is on these nodes, just right click on them and they will all go away and we're right back to where we started. Okay, now over here, so you kind of get the idea of how you're going to adjust your image. And I'm going to come back in a minute and see if I can adjust it a little bit and see how it turns out. Now right now we have the drop down set on master. So what I'm talking about is this right here. We already looked at the red, green, and blue drop down, but here's master. What master means is that all of your colors are all added up. So that means you're going to get something that looks like this. So over here, if we want to adjust each of the color channels, all we have to do is go for master and click on the red. Then what you're going to get is a red line. So then you'll move your red line around, and notice when I move it up like that, it gets more and more red. And when I move it below the horizontal line, it gets more and more green. And I really don't like green, so you can do that. Now, if you want another color, to adjust another color, I want this thing. Oh, there we go. I didn't click on it hard enough. Here's the green. And so we have a green line right here. And we'll move that around. And this will adjust our green. So we get more green above the horizontal line, and we get less green below the horizontal line. Okay? So that's how that works. Now we're going to get rid of this stuff. So delete all the, oops, didn't want to do that. But not to worry, I'll get it back into it. Curves. Okay, so we're back in here. Okay, so it kind of depends on what you want to do. Most of the time you're going to be working in master, unless you're doing something specific where you're going to need the red, green, and blue alterations. And in the future, we'll probably be doing that. And alpha, I don't even know what that is, so we're not even going to go there. Now, let's take a look again, and let me put the nodes on here, and let's see if I can actually do anything. This picture is really okay the way it is. What I don't like about it is it's a little dark. So we're going to do that. So we're in the master, we're not in red or green. So we'll do this. And, oh, one more thing I forgot to show you. This node, see how it travels around? You can really do a lot of your adjustment flexibility is really nice on this. So if you want to just adjust the lightness or the darkness of this, then you can just move all around the curve and see what you like. So if you wanted more red in here, let's do that. Okay, now you're going to get your red curve, and we will, oops, I don't want that, ugh. Okay, that's a little bit too much red, but you kind of see what I'm driving at, where if you are in the master, then that means it's going to adjust your lightness and darkness. And then if you go into the red channel or the green channel, it's going to adjust that part of the channel. So this is the end of this video on the 3 adjustment layers: black and white balance, and the curves. I actually use the black and white adjustment in my John Wayne Gacy victims video that I'm working on. Remember, if you don't use it, you lose it, and you'll forget all about it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like that. So if you're taking this Affinity Photo 2 learning journey with me, make sure that you use this and don't do what I did in Photoshop and completely forget about it and then wonder what I'm doing. So this is the end of the video, and I will see you on the next one.